Barrett Jackson just auctioned off for $3.4 million a Mercedes 300 SL Gullwing. And I've come all the way from Miami to Munich, Germany to hear the story of an amazing garage find. Not one, not two, but 5 300 SLs found in a garage within a garage. Stay tuned. Hello, my name is Jonathan Molesky, and I am here today in Munich, Germany. I came all the way from Miami, Florida for 2 main reasons today. The first one is the guys here at Old Money Cars are friends of mine, and my friend just called me up and said, John, you've got to come out to hear this story because we have one of the most incredible garage finds you're ever going to hear of 5 classic Mercedes that were found right here in Munich, Germany. The other reason I came is because my friend sitting to my left, Hivad, has been running this amazing Instagram account that really talks a lot about classic cars, lifestyle, and he's been sort of a little bit of a mystery. And friends of mine from all over the world have called and said, who is this well-dressed guy that's kind of the mystery man? So today we're going to let you know who that mystery guy is and what they're all about. Being American, I come from obviously a country of immigrants. And one of the interesting things about your company is your story. So as an American, I want you to tell everyone, how the heck did you get to Germany?
My dad came in 1972 from all across Afghanistan till Munich as a hippie, and he used to be a bus driver. Can you imagine that? So my father said to me that, look, Hivat, we came here to be Germans, not to be foreigner. So learn from these guys. And that's how it is. I am identify myself not only as a German, but more also as a European. Because of the freedom that I'm enjoying here in Germany, I can travel all around the world. Because of the reason of that, I have been inspired not only by the Germans, but also by the Italians, by the Spains, by the Americans, by Middle Eastern countries. So I just take all benefits of each country and keep it for myself and try to do my best of it.
Okay, so now I know how you got here. It's an amazing story, and obviously thanks, Dad, for getting you over here. Old Money Cars, how did that all come about?
The fact of that is because I like the classic art. I like classical things. It's not just about cars, it's just the lifestyle in general. I grown up with the old classic movies, the movies with Rock Hudson, with Cary Grant, with Audrey Hepburn. I love those movies. I love these flair, these styles at that time. And especially for me, I love also like vintage stuff. I like vintage clothes, vintage watches, and of course, vintage cars. So I can identify myself more with these products. So imagine like the Mercedes W111 is one of the last cars which have been built and handmade. So can you just imagine that handmade car? And of course, at that time, the people tried always to improve themselves with the best quality, with like the highest development. And in my opinion, the best cars have been already built. So therefore, I choose the classic cars.
Hivad, I've got 2 questions for you. I've had a lot of friends of mine in the United States that love your Instagram feed, and they think it's so artistic, but you've been the guy in the shadows there. So tell me a little bit about why you're coming out of the shadow now. And also what's really interesting is one of my friends in the US asked, well, why should I buy from a guy in Europe?
If someone finds a car, doesn't matter where, he would like to know who is checking the car. And with showing ourselves now, we can introduce ourselves and show to the people that we are experienced and we are knowing what we are doing. You're sending there people who are served for their life for restoring, buying and selling cars. For people who have experienced more than 36 years in restoring cars. if you would like to send your car from home, doesn't matter, anywhere in Europe, for example, to Dubai, we can organize that for you. We can check the car for you. We can organize the transportation there. We can organize that we will pick you up from the airport. We can prepare for you an experience which you will not forget.
Hivad, what makes old money cars special?
As you know, I prefer like the classic German brands, and Mercedes-Benz is one of the brands which created the car. As you can see in our Instagram movies, we are more specialized in Mercedes cars. So my favorite car, for example, is the Mercedes 300 Gullwing. That's, in my opinion, is one of the most beautiful car ever made. And there is a story which I would like to introduce to you, but not by me, by someone who found these cars by himself. Not only found, he found them, restored them by himself, and sold them to those people who appreciate these cars. You should listen to this untold story.
Okay, so Hardy, I gotta hear the story. I mean, you got the blonde hair and the blue eyes, so you got the German engineering look down. We know that. I want to know, first off, before you tell us about this amazing garage find, how did this all start for you?
Okay, John, it starts when I was a child, about 10 or 11 years old. I was going with my parents to a car exhibition, or like a meeting, car meeting. And then I look, and there was a field of grass, all cars are standing there, and then I look on the right side, and there come a silver Mercedes. And I look more and more, the car comes near and near, and then I see, oh, it's a 300 SL Gullwing. The guy goes out, parking, and then I pull my mother and say, I want to go to this car, and she go with me. And then first I want to touch. I touch this body, these forms, and my heart stands still. Yes, at this moment, I remember this, really. My mother pushed me away, and then I turn back and see this car, and see these forms, and then I say, okay, this will be a part of your life in future.
Okay, so Hardy, you've had all these years of experience. You've restored many, many cars. All of a sudden, you get a call. Someone tells you there's up to possibly 5 Mercedes hidden in a garage, within a garage. What's that all about?
That's correct, John. I started my own company about 25 years ago. I leave Mercedes, and then I have a restore company, only special for Mercedes. And then I have a special client. He was a car seller for special cars, only for exclusive cars. He was an exclusive car dealer. It was a friend of mine later. His name was Peter. Peter called me and says, Hardy, I have found 5 SLs in Munich. And I say, okay, what kind of SLs? And he said, it was 5 300 SL. And I say, really? 300 SL? How old about this car? And he says, it was to 55 to 60. And then I know, okay, that was 300, the real 300 SL. And then he comes to me and we talk a little about, he need one who can look this car and inspect this car and look if everything is okay, if every parts are there, and it's real cars, yes. And I say, okay, I do it. About 3 weeks later, he comes and says, so Hardy, you have time tomorrow, we drive to Munich. I say, okay. And then we drive to Munich, middle in the city. Yes, there was a big building. And the older guy comes out and we talk a little bit to him. And then he said, we go downstairs. He don't find the key of he must cut the latch. It was a very old lift. I'm a little bit afraid for this lift. And I said, wow, this lift was so old. And then we go downstairs, like the underground. And then was a big steel door. And I was the first on this door.
John, doesn't it sound like an Indiana Jones found, like a Tom found?
The good news is you're in Munich, so no one's shooting bow and arrows at you.
Okay, and then this door is open and the light goes in. And then I see this body from a 300 SL, the fender. That was on the left side. I remember it exactly because at this moment, all stops. I think the world stops to turn at this moment, and I can't believe it. The guys hinter me was like, why you stop? So I stop. And then I see this car and I feel it's real. It was unbelievable. And then I go inside and look under a sheet, yes, and I see this one Roadster that was in parts. And I see the second Roadsters, second and the third Roadster, and this Gullwings was under a sheet. So we all put it out. It was very dirty, very dusty, like we were in a tomb. Yes, it was not real for me. It was not real at this moment. Yes.
Amazing. That's so cool. I wish I could have been there.
It's like a kid in a toy store. Leave a kid in a toy store and look what he's doing.
Yeah, a kid in the Lindt chocolate factory, my God. So you're there checking out all this stuff and you make the purchase, correct? Everything goes through and you then restore these cars.
Yes, the second I check these cars, I check the numbers. My friend Peter has also a guy who invests in these cars, and because this car was about 1.2 million euros, all of these 5 cars, yes, all together, not one, all together.
Wow, all together?
All together for all.
Today it would be a very good buy.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was also with us, and after a while I inspect, and then he looked at me and said, Hardy, what do you think? And I only make so, okay. And then he said, okay, I trust you, I buy it. He asked nothing. I said, okay, I give this guy the money and we buy this car.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. For me, it was like a dream. It was not real.
Can you imagine, John? 5 300 SL hidden in the heart of Munich in a garage below a garage.
So it was literally like a chamber, like hidden
Like
away.
in a subway, it's underground, yeah.
So you restored, brought all these cars up, found happy homes for them, and off we go. Now, I told you guys, I go to the United Kingdom quite often. I'm in London and Liverpool all the time, and we like to drink gin and tonics and scotch. And I was told that there's some connection there with one of the cars. What can you tell me?
Yes, one of these Gullwings. I checked the numbers, and I have some friends and some connections to Mercedes Classic, and then I give the numbers of these 2 cars. And he says, one of these Gullwings is registered in Manila. Yes, it was from Manila, first delivery. And he asked me, where is the second car? Where is this car? And then I think, okay, that must be a special car, because his question is not this car is this, and where is this car? Do you see this car? And I say, yes. And then he told me that this one of a car who was on the famous owners list of this 300 SL. That was Rob Walker. That was from the Johnny Walker whiskey dynasty. Oh. And then we look about who was this guy, Rob Walker. And then we see it was a famous race driver. It was with Johnny Walker. And he owned a Formula One team. He was very famous at this time, this guy.
Now, of course, the next question is, was the 300 SL red, blue, or black?
The car was...
Those are the 3 Johnny Walker colors.
This car was silver, original, and the interior was red.
Thanks for sharing that story. I really appreciate it. It was worth the trip, that's for sure. I just want to say it's amazing to be here in Munich, Germany, and to firsthand hear this story, this incredible Mercedes-Benz find. I mean, it's a thrill. And also I wanted to say to all of you out there, wherever you are in the world, keep this in mind, especially my friends in the United States. I mean, you could maybe find one of the old classic cars in, let's say, Dayton, Ohio, and buy it there. But my suggestion is check in with these guys. I mean, they might have a car for you in Italy, and you come out here, drive the car, and then they'll make sure the transaction goes smoothly and the car gets shipped back. It's an amazing story to be able to do. Also, the Instagram account that we've been talking about is Old Money Cars Munich. Check that out. And if you have any questions, these are the fellows that you want to talk to. We're here where the magic happens. We're in the shop where the 5 300 SLs were restored and reborn. And as a matter of fact, right behind me here, there's an amazing story of this one car that Hardy put together all on his own. So here we are, Hardy, with your baby, with your Liebchen. So in the garage, right, there were 5 300 SLs. One of them was just a frame and in boxes, and this was the one. You put this thing together. So the question is, how long did it take you? How did you do this?
John, this was one of the greatest challenges in my life. We need about, I think, 2,000 hours to restore this. And the problem was our parts are here, and I make a lot of phone calls and a lot of sleepless nights. It was really, and but the end, you see the result, and I think we make it a little bit better.
Amazing story, Hardy, of how you put this thing all back together. So I have to ask Hibot a question. After hearing about the sleepless nights, the blood, sweat, and tears, and as we had talked before, finding good people, craftsmen to do work in the United States, people don't even want to work these days. You can't find these people. Why, right on the Swiss-German border, did you guys decide to have your shop right here?
This location is the best location for our own manufacturing. Watchmaker precision meets German quality. We would like to keep how it used to be like before. Our own factory, our own workers, which are just locals living nearby. And we keep it like back to the roots, handmade in Germany.
It's like I'm looking at a German Picasso. Great job, Hardy. Unbelievable. So Hibot, you just drove me down on the Autobahn to the Swiss border at 250 Ks in a newer Mercedes-Benz. So the question is, what does a 7-figure Benz feel like to drive that's made in 1957?
You know, John, words are not compared to the real feeling. So let's just test it.
God, I'm in. Oh, listen to that. Mm-hmm. Oh, baby.